Good day everyone. Today we will discuss the changes in materials. We will discuss the changes in ice cubes when heated. We will also investigate how rusting in iron form. We are now in the 5th week of our modular distance learning. This is your teacher in Science 5, Teacher Jeanette Embolodi Aliado. This is Pacific Gazette Educational Channel. What is physical change? According to our previous studies, physical change is the changes of size, shape, color of an object. These changes usually reversible change, and it can go back to its original shape. To further explain what is physical change means, please hold on to this video. What is melting? Melting is a process of changing solid to liquid. And what is the factor that affects melting? Melting occurs when there is a sudden change of temperature. And melting is a reversible change, meaning the water can be changed again into ice cubes through freezing. Another example is the breaking of glass. Breaking of glass is an example of physical change, but some breaking of glass are irreversible. It means it cannot be fixed. It is physical because though it is broken, it is still a glass of mirror. You can still look at your image or your reflection, but it is now a harmful materials. Another example of physical change is grating. Example of this process is a cheese. It turns into pieces of grated cheese. This process is irreversible change. It is an example of physical change because it's still the same cheese that you have seen. The only difference is it is being grated into a pieces of cheese. Boiling. What causes water to boil? We need the application of heat in order to boil water. What changes happen in boiling water? First, the temperature of the water increases. Second, it eliminates harmful substances like chlorine and some bacteria. Another example of physical change is dissolving. What is needed for dissolving? Of course, you are needing water. But what is the difference of dissolving from melting? In melting, the object itself turns into other phase of matter. For example, the ice cubes from solid to change it into liquid state. While in dissolving, it needs 2 to 3 objects like water and salt, or salt and water, or water and sugar, which results to a mixture. But what is mixture? Mixture is the end result of sugar and water, wherein sugar is totally dissolved in water. Or it could be a salt and water, wherein salt is totally dissolved in water. Always remember that physical change can be reversible change. What is chemical change? According to our previous study, new substances with different properties are formed. Heat, pressure, or electricity aid in chemical changes. And that is the meaning of chemical change. And here are some examples that shows chemical changes. Rotting is an example of chemical change. Some object like fruits and vegetables easily be rotten when it is exposed to high temperature and extreme exposure to air or oxygen. Why does apple turns brown when exposed to oxygen? It is because of the food enzyme that reacts with the oxygen through oxidation. What does oxidation means? Oxidation means it is a chemical reaction in which there is less or gained oxygen. And that is the reason why apples and potatoes turns brown when exposed to oxygen. And that process is what we call oxidation. And here is another example. What is the reason why the fire goes out? It is because fire needs oxygen to sustain itself. Another reason is the glass prevents the fire from consuming any more oxygen. Once the fire consumes all the oxygen inside the glass, the fire turns off. And that process is what we call combustion. Combustion is the process when the substance burns in the presence of oxygen, meaning a material cannot be burned without the presence of oxygen. All burned materials are irreversible. Burning, ashes is the new substance formed, and that is irreversible because you cannot turn back the ashes into its original form. Ashes are the end product of burning. Another example of chemical change is the formation of bubbles. Bubbles is the formation of gas in the presence of liquid with the aid of chemicals or other materials mixed into water to form bubbles, like soap, baking soda, and vinegar. Here is another example. Look at the screen. Can you guess what is it? You're right. It is a fireworks display. And what occasion can we witness the fireworks display? You're right. We can witness that one during Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve, holidays, fiestas, and other special occasions. But do you know how firecrackers works and display? Fireworks is made up of gunpowder. When the gunpowder was heated, it makes an explosion. This explosion may display a different reactions. These reactions are the sounds, lightnings or sparklings, and different colors it displays. And it has also an odorous reaction, which is not good for our health. Fireworks display is an irreversible change because once the gunpowder being heated up, it will explode and it will not go back to its original substance. We feel happy and glad when we witness a fireworks display, but it is harmful to our health and also to our environment. Those are examples of chemical and physical changes. Solid to liquid, melting or fusion. Solid to gas, sublimation. Liquid to gas, boiling or evaporation. Liquid to solid, solidification or freezing. Gas to liquid, condensation. Gas to solid, deposition. Number 1. Prepare the ice cubes. Number 2. Put the ice cubes into a clear glass. And then, observe what happened to the ice cubes inside the glass under the room temperature. Heat causes the materials to change in their properties also. It will change state from solid to liquid, which is called melting. When ice cubes melted, the heat present in the environment was absorbed by the ice cubes. But when the heat was absorbed by the lighted candle and crayon, they changed state from liquid to solid. This is caused by the process of cooling. Let us observe how rusting formed in a metal. Number 1. Prepare a dry and wet towel. 2. Place the dry and wet towel near the window. Number 3. Put a nail in each prepared towel. Number 4. Sprinkle some water every 1 hour on the wet towel. Number 5. Keep the nail in the dry towel dry. Number 6. Observe it until 48 hours or 2 days. What have you noticed after 48 hours? What changes you observe in the first towel? You're right, there were no changes at all. What about in the second towel or in the wet towel? What changes have you noticed? Have you seen the orange or brown coating that forms on the surface of the nail? That is what we call rusting. What is rusting? Rusting is a red or orange coating that forms on the surface of iron when exposed to air and moisture. Rusting is the reaction of iron with oxygen present on air. When metal is exposed to water or oxygen or air, rusting will be formed, meaning the objects that are made up of metal will be prone to rusting when it exposed to water and air. For your activities, please write it on your paper. For your activity number 1, you are going to write your observations on table number 4. That could be found on page 20 in your science module. You are going to write your observation before and after the ice cubes being exposed to the room temperature. For your activity number 2, that would be found on page 24 in your science module. You are going to write your observations, what happened to the nail on dry and wet towel. For your activity number 3, that would be found on page 24 in your science module. You're going to answer the following questions. Number 1, what are the properties of iron nails before exposure to oxygen? Number 2, what happened to the materials when they are exposed to oxygen? Number 3, what changes took place? Number 4, describe the changes that happened in iron nails when they are exposed to oxygen. Number 5. What do you call the process of exposing the iron nails placed in wet cloth after 48 hours that resulted to changes in appearance of iron nails? Number 6. Are there new products formed after each changes? For your activity number 4, you're going to answer learning task number 8 found in your science module on page 27. And that concludes our today's 12 minutes topic and discussion. And you're tuning to Pacific Gazette Educational Channel. Please follow and subscribe for more videos and information. I'm your teacher, Jeanette Embolodi Aliado.